Hey guys, it's me, Emeric, and I'm coming at you today with another Storytime video. Okay, so this is the story. This is the story of how my high school teacher tried to fuck me. Like, legitimately tried to fuck me in the butthole. So, I mean, stay tuned and we're gonna go through it because it is long, involved, and intense, and quite frankly, a little bit terrifying. So it all started when I was around like 13. We had a form tutor, which is basically kind of like the guy who's in charge of your pastoral care. You know, you'll come in every morning, you'll go to your form, which is like a little group of you, and you'll like sign a register, you'll sit around and read, I don't know, that kind of bullshit. It's basically like an hour of doing nothing before you start lessons, because, I don't know, underfunded schools or some shit. So he ended up being my assistant form tutor, as in there was two gentlemen, he was one of them, and then there was another guy. So his name was Mr., let's call him for the sake of argument, Mr. Neil, because that's the only thing that comes to mind. And he was known to be a bit of a douchebag. Like, he wasn't particularly nice. He wasn't horrible, he just wasn't very nice. He was known to be like kind of rowdy, he would shout a lot, he was very angry. He just, you know, he was an okay teacher, I suppose, but he was an exceedingly angry person. And going alongside this story, we have the fact that my mother was a landlady in a pub, okay? Now remember that, because that's going to come back later. It'll go full circle and it'll come back, and that will be quite important later on. Okay, so I'm at school, everything's fine, we have this angry teacher, he's yelling or something. So the only thing that popped off is that he ended up getting fired. And why did he get fired? He got fired because he had pictures of his dick on his computer at school. So a student was supposed to be giving a presentation and she put her thumb drive into the computer. She was trying to find it, couldn't find it, clicked on something, and a picture of his dick popped up on screen. May have been somebody else's dick, I don't know, but it was a dick in a high school. So you can't really have that. He got fired, his computer was forensicsed, and however you conjugate that verb. His computer got forensically analysed or whatever the fuck they did. I don't know, they probably didn't do anything, they probably just told him to leave. So he left, and that, for the most part, we thought was it. But turns out that was not it, because he had his eye on me. So by this point I'm around like 17 and I'm going to the gym. It was called Total Fitness and it was quite close to where I lived. So I was going through the swimming area. So I was going past the swimming pool and into the steam room and sauna. I was in my little shorts and I was like, you know, walking around and I hear, Emeric! And then I look and in the pool, like getting up like to say hello, is Mr. Neil. And I was like, oh hey, how are you? Like, I haven't seen you in ages, like, how's it going? He was like, yeah, I'm good, you're looking good. I was like, thank you, how's everything? So like we chatted for a bit and then it got kind of awkward because he was like, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and get in the sauna now, bye. And he was like, bye, like I'll see you around sometime, like I'll find you on Facebook. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, alright, go for it, sure thing, why not, okay, whatever. Just, you know, thinking it doesn't really mean anything. Didn't really hear from him for a while until he actually did add me on Facebook, and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, you know, he said he would, so, you know, nothing too weird about that. Now, remember I told you my mother owned a pub? Okay, so coming back to it, what happened was the person my mother hired in the pub, his name was, let's call him Barney, like the dinosaur. And it turns out that Barney, who was a homosexual, was friends with Mr. Neil from, I don't know, way back when, back in the day, something. And he had asked me, oh, you saw this guy? And I was like, oh yeah, how did you know? And he was like, oh, he told me that, you know, he ran into you because he knew that I worked for your mum. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, this isn't getting more weird. This is just, you know, okay. I'm not making any assumptions at this point. I'm just like, alright, I'm just, you know, living my life, being, you know, 17 and beautiful. So he adds me on Facebook and then he starts sending me messages, just being like, hi, how are you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, you know, we're just having like a little chat. And then all of a sudden things start to veer down like a different path. So it was like small things at first, like, oh, well, I see you in the gym today. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be going like a couple of hours. Then I'd go and he'd be at the gym. And obviously we'd say hello because we're both, you know, we knew each other and we were both there. And we'd kind of always see each other either in the sauna, in the steam room, like that kind of area where you're a little bit exposed because you're a little bit naked. And like, that's just what I do after a gym session. Like every time I'm in the gym, afterwards I go and chill out and like relax for a minute and like let my muscles after, you know, after I'd worked out. So about like 3 weeks later, I get a message from him and he's just again like chatting to me about something completely nonsensical, and then he was like, oh, by the way, you looked really good in the gym the other day. It was like, oh, okay, like thank you. And then he just came out with, like, point blank, to the point, so, have you ever been fucked by a guy? And I was like, oh, oh no, it went to the weird place, oh. And I was kind of hoping it wouldn't happen, that it would just be a normal relationship, because I have a couple of my other teachers on Facebook, to be frank, like a couple of teachers from college who I actually really just enjoyed the presence of. I've got some of those on my Facebook, and like every now and then I'll say hello and it's completely copacetic and there's nothing wrong with it, they're just normal people. But he literally came out with, so, have you ever been fucked by a guy? And my response was, remember, still 17, still very fragile in the old mental state. I just said, no, I haven't. I feel like that might hurt. To which his response was, not if you do it right. I can show you if you want. Mr. Neil, I don't know. Like, you used to be my teacher when I was 13. This is so fucking weird. Like, why? Why are you saying these things to me? Like, I don't really know how to process this. I don't really know how to cope. I don't really know what to do. So I was just kind of like, oh, haha, funny. And he was like, no, seriously, do you want me to come pick you up and I'll drive you to Asher? Oh, where do you want to drive me? There's some hill near where I used to live where everyone used to go to fucking cars. He was like, yeah, like we can go down there. Have you ever tried dogging? What the actual fuck do you, what the actual fuck? What? I am a pure 17-year-old. I wasn't that pure, okay? Like, you know, I wasn't like a virgin, but I was not ready for this level of aggressive homosexuality. So, so I was just like, I don't even know what dogging is, so no. So in case you don't know, dogging is defined as a British English slang term for engaging in public sex while others watch. Lovely. So basically what he was getting at was the fact that my old high school teacher wanted to pick me up in his car, drive me out to this dogging point, and fuck me for the first time while strangers watched. To which I replied, block. I didn't know what to do. I was so confused. I went to my best friend and I told her all this and she was just like, what the fuck? He used to mark your homework and bullshit. Like, and then he's trying to put his dick in your butthole? I was like, exactly. Part of me kind of wonders if it would have been good, but like at the same time, like, no, you can't do that. And there's a big age difference too. There's like an 11, 12-year age gap here. So just like logistically, all of it was really fucked up. I did ask the person at my mother's bar who knew him, full circle obviously, what is his thing? And he's like, yeah, he's just really into public sex. He likes taking people and fucking them like whilst other people watch. And that's just his thing. It's just what he's into. I think I've always been a little, you know, even when I was younger, people knew I would grow up to be this beautiful tan vixen that I am today. So yeah, even my fucking high school teachers wanted a piece of it. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All my other social medias will be listed down below. And until next time, kisses from England. Bye, guys. So like, what did you want me to do? He just wanted me to bend over the back of a car and be like, yeah, daddy, yeah, whilst like 6 other people watched. No.